What this is the LPG, or the propane tank. So you take this down, it's closed off here. You open it by turning it counterclockwise all the way, and now it's open, and this LPG can get into the refrigerator, the stove, and the heating system. And right here is where you read that the tank is half full. When it's completely full, it reads about almost 3/4 full. And when it gets below a quarter, it's about time to get some new propane. Okay, here's the panel that tells you how everything works. The first thing we want to do is turn on the auxiliary batteries. So to turn on the auxiliary battery, we go over here and we press this toggle switch to on. And that should turn on the auxiliary battery.
Ooh, I heard it click.
And we heard it click, and you can see the light is on. Now the auxiliary battery is on, and we can check things. For instance, to check the fresh water, we press the thing that says fresh, and it says we're full. We press the thing that says gray, says it's empty. The black says it's full and it's empty at the same time. Well, it turns out this is the one button that doesn't work. You'll be able to check the black water very easily just by looking into the toilet. That's where the black water tank is. LPG, let's check that. That says it's almost full, but we saw outside it's about half empty, so this one isn't very accurate. You want to use the gauge on the outside. Main battery, that's our car battery, says that that's full, and the auxiliary batteries, which there are two, they're both full. So we're all set here. The water pump, if I want to turn the water on, so down here, here's the sink. There's no water pump yet. What I'll do is I'll come up here and turn on the water pump by this toggle switch. Now the water pump's on. There we go, we have water. Now I turn the water pump off. Generally we keep the water pump off so that things don't run when you don't want them to.
Like the toilet.
Right. We never turn on the water heater. That just wastes gas. I don't even know where it is. We don't even know if it works. Don't bother with it. If you want to heat water, heat it on the stove or with a microwave.
Go.
To turn on the refrigerator, what you do is you first push this left button all the way in to the on position. When it's out, it's on the off position. Over here on this side is where you turn the propane to it, to the gas. And the way you do that is you pop it out so that the button is on the popped out, and that's going to make sure that it's working with the gas. Later on, you're going to push that in and let it be on auto. But to get this thing started, you have to get the gas to circulate through the refrigerator. So you want it to be on, and you want it to be using gas. And we turn it on. It takes a while to fire up as it gets some gas through it.
So you hold it down the whole time.
Hold it down, and now it's going, and off it's running. Now I know it's running. Look over here at the microwave, and notice it's on now, and I'm ready to program it. 11 seconds, start, it's running. I'm going to stop. So the microwave is working with the generator running. Now I'm going to turn off the generator. And it shuts itself down. Only run the generator when you don't have shore power and you can't plug into 110 volt and you need it.
Record.
To start the stove, when the gas has been turned off, it's going to take a long time for the propane to come through to the stove. But nevertheless, you've got a regular power starter here that we like to use, and there's a bunch of long kitchen matches here.
And there's short ones also.
There's short ones. And you turn the dial to light it, and then the dial wherever you want it. Okay.
Once the propane's going, you can actually send a spark.
Oh yeah, okay, do that.
By turning it to light.
Yeah.
And then sparking it, and it'll light without a match.
This is the toilet. It's got a seat and a cover and a flushing mechanism over here. To flush it, you just pull on this gray device and you pull it this way and it flushes. I don't have the water turned on. If the water were turned on, the bowl would be swirling with water as it flushed. Now if you look straight down in there, right now the black water tank is empty.
You can't see.
And it's easy to just look down in and see that it's empty or whatever level it is. And if it gets full, and it'll take about 2 weeks to get full, in a week you won't have to worry about emptying it.
And it takes about 2 times that you fill the fresh water, then you'd need to empty the black water.
Right. Here's where you fill up with fresh water. See this little key, the one with the black on it, the small key? It operates all of the little locks that need operating.
On the outside of the van.
Outside. And here's your water. You just take a hose, a regular garden hose, stick it in there and fill it with hose water. Good clean water from a garden hose or a campsite where you trust the water.
Source.
If they say the water's not potable, you don't put it in there. But that's how you fill it up. Takes a while. It's a 40-gallon freshwater tank. Then I lock it back up and it's locked. To fill the fresh water system, we have a hose in here.
It's right above where the disposal was for the black and gray water.
Okay. And here it is. You attach this thing to a water spigot at your campsite and then put the other end in that fresh water. This is the generator. You don't have to do anything at all with the generator. It just happens to be here for maintenance. That's how you get in. But that's what's behind that door. Here you will get into this. This has both a lock and a clip. And this is where your power cord plugs into the generator. Right now it's plugged into the generator. So if I turn on the generator, you get 110 volt power in the RV. Now I'm going to unplug it, because now when you get to a campsite that has a plug that would take this thing, you have to move way back, Suzanne. When you get to a campsite that takes this thing, you'll take out this cord that's about a 30-foot cord, and you'll plug it in to the receptacle that takes this 30 amp power cord, and then that will give you your 110 power. And make sure when you drive away that before you drive away, you unplug this and put it back in here and replug it in to the generator receptacle before you drive away from your campsite and pull this thing out. This is very, very important, of course. Make sure. This is where your sewer hose is stored, and this is how you empty the both black water tank and the fresh water tank. This comes out and goes back here. This is the dust cover. This tank here is the black water tank. The toilet is directly above it. This handle here is the gate valve for it. If you were to pull on this valve, it would just immediately empty the black water tank from the toilet. This valve over here on the right is the gray water. It does the shower, which we don't use, but it does the sink. And so the gray water from the sink, the soapy water, comes by pulling on this handle that I won't pull here. This is the dust cover. What you do is you take off the dust cover and then you put this guy on. You have to fool with it a little bit. Now he's on, and you take the other end and you put it in a proper receptacle. At campgrounds they have one, and you'll see other people where they mark it, and you just take that loose end and put it down into their septic tank. And then you first pull out the black water, let the black water drain for a few minutes, and then close it off. Then you pull out the gray water, and the gray water helps flush the toilet, or this tube. Now when that's done, of course, you push that back in, so now both valves are off. Take this off. Usually they'll have a hose at these disposal places, and then I like to wash my hands with the hose and wash this dust cover off. put the dust cover back on. Put this guy back. And then with that same hose, wash this thing out. Run just hose water down through it. Turn it around a couple times so that it kind of cleans itself out. And then this thing will be clean. And back in it goes. Back into its storage. Okay, never attach anything to this particular thing. Just leave this thing alone. Is it going? Take regular gas. It doesn't lock. Opens up. Fill it up. You have to fool with the nozzle all the time because of this stupid design. Usually you push the nozzle in and keep the thing raised about as much as you can, a real steep angle. Fool with it. Eventually you'll get some gas in there. And prepare to spend about $150. This is a locking storage. Again, the same key opens it up. And you've got some storage in here for coolers and all kinds of stuff.
Laundry detergent. Here's some lounge chairs. Camp chairs.
The carb, we call this the car box. It's got some oil. It's got funnels. Got some ropes. Got jumper cables. It's got some gloves.
Ooh.
It's got those kind of gloves. Tape. It's a handy little box. I would suggest that in my garage you'll find some tool kits, and I'll leave them out on the table. I'd suggest you take those tool kits along with you so you have some wrenches and screwdrivers. Right. In here are some wooden pieces. These wooden pieces I use under the wheels. I stack them up to level it off if you need a little extra leveling. There's plenty of wood in here. You can play around and level up the van.